The challenges facing our teens today mean that more than ever, we need to be there to support them and encourage them. The Dr. STEM Show is here to provide discussions about topics that will help promote healthy relationships, self-image, and success for teens, parents, and the community. Our young people can achieve more in life than they ever dreamed possible. The Dr. STEM Show, hosted by Dr. STEM Malatini, will foster these discussions and encourage your participation.
When we talk about homelessness, we think of adults. However, there are so many children that are also experiencing homelessness, living in abandoned cars, abandoned buildings, shelters, and constantly changing schools. Our guest today, who's a teenager, and I love talking to teenagers who are as brilliant as she is, started a program, her own business, nonprofit, that is geared towards helping young homeless children. Welcome to the Dr. STEM Show, and welcome, Moira.
Thank you so much, Dr. STEM, for having me today. I'm really excited to talk to you.
I'm excited. I work with teenagers, so when I read about you, well, let me tell you a little bit about how I heard about you. One of the students from Salem High School was in a program with you. You guys volunteered, for something, I think. I don't remember whether it was a volunteer program, but she was so impressed with the work that you did that she wrote me an email that came in the middle of the night, and she says, you have to talk to this young lady. She's amazing. So I know I can't wait to hear the whole story of how you started, this program. But before we start, let me have you just describe yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Moira Landry. I'm a senior at Swampscott High School, and I'm the president of Hope for Creativity.
President, how does that feel?
It's pretty crazy, but really awesome.
You are saying I'm the president and you're in high school.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about your company. What company did you start and what is it called?
It's called Hope for Creativity, and we provide art supplies to kids who are experiencing homelessness in Massachusetts, who are either staying in shelters or in motels. And we also work with school groups and community groups and to educate them about the issue of homelessness and how they can make a difference in the lives of others.
We are talking to the teenagers out there, but guess what? Even adults don't have the courage that you had to start a business. So let's go back 2009 when you started your business. How did it start? Where were you? How did you even dream of becoming a businesswoman and starting a program?
Well, I started to volunteer when I was 9 years old because it was something I was really passionate about, and I really wanted to do something to make a difference in the lives of homeless people. And after I volunteered for a few years, I received the Prudential Spirit of Community Awards on the middle school level. I was in 6th grade at the time. Yes. And when I went to the awards in Washington, D.C., there were so many other kids my age, younger than me and older than me, that had started their own nonprofits and done so many amazing initiatives to make a difference. And, I kind of looked at it that way and said, well, if there's something else I can do to make an even bigger difference, then why not go for it? And, I looked at all the parameters of starting a nonprofit, and nothing said I couldn't start when I was 12, so I just went for it.
12 years old. That's middle school.
Yeah.
And you had your own business in middle school.
Yes.
Oh man, you just started something, because all the young people out there at 17, 16 that are going, I don't even know where to get a job. You are saying you can create your own job.
Yeah.
At 12 years old, so if I did it at 12, you can do it at 16.
Exactly.
So was it hard to start though? I mean, did you get help, and how did you get, to apply for the nonprofit status?
It was pretty easy because I have an amazing group of supportive people. My mom did all of the paperwork with me, and she helped me figure everything out on, I guess, the business side. And since I was a minor, if she's the treasurer until I was 18, she was handled all the financials. And I asked, a really core group of people that I'd known growing up and family members and friends to be on the board of directors, because that was one of the, qualifications that I needed. And they were all so eager. After our first board meeting, someone went immediately home and bought our domain for our website. So that was so cool because, everything started going really quickly, and it was amazing to see, how one small idea has, turned into something so amazing in 5 years. And I can only imagine what it's going to be in the future.
So it's been 5 years now.
Yes.
And that has been in operational. I know you live in Swampscott, that's where the main office is.
Yeah.
Have you expanded the services outside of Swampscott?
Yes, we've been as far as Cape Cod to a shelter there 2 or 3 times, and we've been to Worcester, we've been local to Lynn and Salem and Peabody, and we service any family shelter in Massachusetts. We actually have a database with all of the 501c3 family shelters, which is hundreds of them. So depending on our budget and the time we have, we go down the list and do cold calls to all of these shelters and see what kids are there and if they're interested in receiving supplies, and we just work.
So what you're hearing Moira tell us about today is a program that she created at age 12 years old. She was 12 when she created this. It's called Hope for Creativity. This is a nonprofit program, and for those of you that don't know how nonprofits are run, they are run by money that is raised. They have to do fundraising, they have to get donations from people, and what she has just told us is they give art supplies to the children that are in homeless shelters, buildings, or don't have a home, and that's what she does, to give them art supplies. That way they can have something to write on, create, to be creative. So what I'm saying is, if you're listening and watching this show and you want to donate to Moira's program, which is Hope for Creativity, today's show is also about fundraising for her, then you can get in touch with her. How can they get in touch with you?
We have a contact form on our website, which is hopeforcreativity.org. And we also have a Facebook page. Go like us on Facebook. We're always trying to expand our social media audience. So share our page with your friends. Tell people about us. It's awesome. And you can contact us through email as well, which is hopeforcreativity@comcast.net.
Great. That website link as well as the email will be at the bottom of the screen as you're watching this show. So I just said, you know what, let's help out and support a young person like Moira, who's helping other young people, because you never know, out of those homeless children that she's helping, there will come other entrepreneurs that will dream big and do the things that you have done.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Thanks, Mom. I know her mom is here with us in the studios.
Thank you, Mom.
So thank you, Mom. It's good to have that support from Mom,
Yeah,
right?
It's been so incredible. I'm really blessed to have so many people in my life that have been so supportive and to have the opportunities I've had.
Do you have any teenagers that are also volunteering in your programs? Who does the work with you?
When we started, we had 8 kids that were my age or a little bit younger. One girl is actually 3 years younger than me, and I've known her since elementary school, and she was on our board of directors, and she was 8 or 9 at the time when we started the organization, and she's still really involved. She's a freshman in high school, and she's one of the coolest people I know.
She was a board member at what age?
She was 8 years old, 8 or 9.
Oh, wow.
And she's still very involved. She actually does all of the outreach programs with me when we go to schools, and she's the one who presents with me and presents what we do. And her name's Mia. Mia, if you're watching this, you're the coolest ever.
Mia. Wow, very impressive, very impressive. Yes. We are talking today to a young lady who I say is a teenager because she's 18, who started a program at 12 years old to help homeless children. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're talking today to the founder and president of Hope for Creativity, Moira Landry, who's talking to us about the program that she founded at age 12 to help young homeless children in the state of Massachusetts. So if you're watching today, wherever you are, the program runs by funds that are raised either through some of the fundraising that the program does or through a show like ours, where you can contact Moira and give her your financial support, moral support, or any information information that might be helpful to help them with their fundraising, because that's how they get to help those children, to give them art supplies in the shelters, in the abandoned cars, as I said at the beginning, wherever any homeless children are, they get to help them. And if you're in the Massachusetts area, you can also go to their website and let her know that you have children in the shelter that need supplies. Again, how can they get in touch with you?
We have a contact form on our website, which is hopeforcreativity.org, which goes directly to our email, or you can email us directly at hopeforcreativity@comcast.net. And we're always checking our website and always checking our email, so it would be great if you could reach out to us and for anything.
I love the fact that you said you started the program by volunteering, and that's how you got to have an opportunity to think about what you wanted to create. Mm-hmm. To me, that was a way of gaining confidence in yourself and also finding what it is that you want to do. And I dub myself as the confidence coach, because I'm always trying to help young people to get more confident about what they want to do. How can young people now come to you and also gain that confidence? Is there volunteer opportunities that they come, and what can they do to help out with the program?
We have several different opportunities for anyone to volunteer throughout the year. Like I've said, we visit elementary schools, middle schools, and community groups and school groups, and talk to kids and show them the issue of homelessness, because a lot of the time, like you said before, it's not something we think about. We have a very specific paradigm when it comes to homelessness, and what we don't see is all of the kids that, they go to the same schools that other kids do, and I think it's really important to be aware of how, as a child, you can make a difference in the life of someone who's your age or similar, because I think it's really powerful to see, the impact that you can make on other people's lives. We have a bead brigade that we ask volunteers from all over the country to help us make safety pin bracelets, which are a part of our fundraising. We sell them on our Etsy store, and we sell them at different craft fairs. So if you're interested in the bead brigade, you can email us and we'll send you safety pins and beads and show you how to make them. And we've also been working recently with the Swampscott National Honor Society, which I'm a member of, and we had a bunch of volunteers at our yearly auction party fundraiser, and it was so great because they were so dedicated. And, all right, what do you need us to do now? Like, what are we doing now? What do you need? So, yeah.
Wow. That's exciting. Now, starting a business in general is challenging.
Yes, it is.
As a young person, are there some things that you have encountered yourself, and how have you been able to overcome some of those, difficulties, if any?
I think one of the biggest things for me is time. Because being in high school, my senior year, I'm applying to colleges and, keeping up with my classes, and also running a nonprofit organization. And, there have been a lot of points where it's been really difficult, managing everything and, not losing my head and not losing sight of, the bigger goal, which is making a difference and changing the world. And I think, if you have an incredible group of supporters and people that you can look to and say, hey, I really need help figuring this out. I need help managing my time. Find a mentor. You can find mentors anywhere. And say, all right, help me make a schedule. I really need, there's no... Kids, especially teenagers, especially often say, "Oh, I don't need help. I'm a big kid. I can do it on my own." But even sometimes, like I'm 18 and I ask questions constantly, and I seek help constantly because I know I can't do it on my own. But, So.
Because you're still a teenager, even though you're a president.
Yeah.
I can still ask, how are your grades, right?
They're good. They're good.
So, are you doing well in
Yes,
school?
I do.
What's your GPA?
94 weighted.
So
like a 3
point. Whoa. I did that on purpose. I wanted to show, because there are a lot of kids that don't even have a 2.0, but they don't own a business. They're not presidents and founders of anything. They don't do fundraising and budgeting and volunteering and going to schools and then doing homework and listening to the teacher and also doing schoolwork. And here you are.
Yes.
With everything that you're juggling, but still maintaining an above 3.0, GPA.
Yes.
So if my producer wasn't going to, I would clap because then that would make noise for the mics. But I'm cheering you on, and I applaud you for that success, because that's a trend that you have set. Because even adults, as I said, we have a difficult time trying to balance our time and juggle home and marriage, children, and here you are, you're juggling school and business, and that's an accomplishment. So I hope that in addition to being helpful and people donating to the funds, that they can also use you as an example, as a place that they can send their children, for that. What do you hope for creativity? Where do you see it like 5 years from now? It's 5 years now. Where do you see it 5 years from now?
That's actually a really good question, because I'm working on a 5-year business plan in school next semester.
There you go.
With Carolyn Casey, who's the co-founder and president of Project 351, which was Governor Patrick's initiative to bring together one 8th grader from every city and town in Massachusetts to do service projects. And I was in the founding class in 2011 when I was in 8th grade, and I met Carolyn through there, and she's been so supportive. And when she found out about Hope for Creativity, she was like, "What, you do this? This is amazing!" And she always, talks about me to all of the other ambassadors, and it's so funny. And she's been such an amazing, she's such a beacon of hope and everything. She's such an amazing person, and I'm really excited to be able to work with her on that.
So you guys are still working on where it's going and where you envision it.
Yeah,
but just a wild dream.
Yeah.
Where do you see it in your wildest dream, if it were to happen?
One of my biggest things is having an office. That would be cool. That would be awesome. But even continuing to reach out to more motels, which is something that we recently started doing. And I actually did a research project on the public policies that surround families in motels, because it's another thing that people don't really see. You think of shelters or living on the street, but this was an act that gave families, no matter what, the opportunity to find shelter. And when the family shelter spaces filled up, they still needed a place to go, so they started utilizing the motels, and it worked at the time. But now we're seeing that kids and families are being negatively affected by the circumstances that they're living in. So we want to try to fix that and help those kids. And we brought art supplies for close to 100 families last spring in a motel in Danvers.
Wow. Thank you for that work that you do, because one of the things that I also notice with, those kids is you will find that some of them are very withdrawn, and you wonder why, because then they don't talk about where they're coming from. Or some of them are very outspoken, so behaviorally, those are the kids that are constantly getting into trouble.
Yeah.
And then when you track back to see, what their background is, then you find out that they don't even have a home, they're homeless. So I think those art supplies, are very helpful. Is there an age group that you give it to, the CAP?
We provide to ages 2 to 18, and we have specific art supplies that go with each age group.
Each age group, okay. We are talking to the president today of Hope for Creativity. As I said, it's a fundraising show as well for them, because they are nonprofit. So if you're watching and you can give $5, $10, $20, $100, $1 million, please go to the website at the bottom of the screen. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Homelessness is something that we rarely talk about, and today we are talking about the children that are also affected by homelessness. My guest today is the founder and president of a program that is actually geared towards helping those children that are homeless, Moira Landry. And as we said before the breaks, it's a nonprofit organization. The reason why we're doing this is to educate you on the services that they provide, that her program provides, Hope for Creativity, art supplies to the shelters, the hotels, and they need your help. They need some funds to be able to buy those supplies. They also need your help if you're a teenager or a parent that is willing to help them, with distributing the art supplies that they have. So I'm also excited because I'm thinking other young people that are out there, you can start a business too. She started it at the age 12. And I know you're in high school. You'll be going to college.
Yes.
How is the program going to run? What do you plan to do with it?
I'm going to continue running the organization. It was a really big decision for me when I approached, the spring of my junior year. I was like, all right, what am I going to be able to do with this? And, I had a lot of conversations with my mom about, okay, if you want to continue this and still be the president and still have an active role, you need to stay, either within the state or within 2 hours away.
Yes.
Because, running a company just over Skype or over the phone is not really realistic. So, I'm hoping that to have flexibility in my schedule wherever I end up attending college and, keeping communications back and forth with my mom and, hopefully extending a larger board of volunteers or board of directors and, expanding the people we have helping so it's not just me.
Excellent. What recommendations would you give those children that are also now inspired by you and going, maybe I can do my own nonprofit?
One of the biggest things I think is don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to, look at a problem and say, okay, how can I make a difference? When I started learning about some of the things that homeless children go through, I said, okay, what's already being done to help these kids and what can I do that's unique and that can, make a difference in their lives in a really meaningful way. And, always ask for help. Help is one of the things that, people might take for granted, but when there are certain times it's like, all right, we need more people. And, don't be afraid to go for your dreams, go for whatever you are passionate about. Because there's always an outlet, there's always something that you can do to follow that passion. And I think that's really important, especially for kids in high school, to find their one niche, that one thing that they want to do.
I have some ideas. So if there are kids that are watching out there, you do art supplies. These homeless children also need books. They also need clothing.
Yeah.
They also, there's so many things that one can just even create another part where they can come up with a business that just does only clothing, or one that says, you know what, I'll put shoes on their feet.
Exactly.
And I'll just have a nonprofit to do shoes.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I started, focused on art supplies, because I know there are so many incredible organizations that provide the basic necessities, but we don't look at things that are basic to childhood.
Yeah.
Being able to play and being able to express yourself and have that outlet and have the same opportunities that other kids have. So.
You're so smart. So smart. I love that about you. And you know what? It was such a pleasure to interview you. Not only am I impressed that you were 12 and now you're 18, Miss President, but that you interview so well. You're so outspoken. So as a closing to our show, I would like you to tell the world what your needs are about the program so that, they can know what the needs, for the program are if you were to talk to them.
We are always looking for volunteers at our events and on a regular basis. So if you're in, the Swampscott-Salem North Shore area, contact us through our website on hopeforcreativity.org or through our email, which is hopeforcreativity@comcast.net. And we're always looking for people to donate art supplies or donate money, which is also great. We collect only new art supplies, but even if you have something that you think, a kid would enjoy, if you give it to us, we also have Create It boxes that we bring to shelters that are boxes of gently used art supplies that we can't put in the packs because we specifically use new art supplies in the packs, but they'll still be going to a shelter and, the families can use them. So
it's been 5 years, and I have, no doubt that you probably have one or two or even more memorable moments when you helped out with art supplies. Any ones that you can share, some memorable moments that you've had?
There's one that always sticks out to me because we deliver all of the art packs personally to the shelters, so a lot of the times we get to meet the kids, which is so special, and they're so much fun to be around. We've done various like arts and crafts groups at some of the shelters too. So it's always so much fun working with them. They're always so funny and so bright and, you know, so imaginative. It's awesome. But there was one shelter in Haverhill that we visited, and one of the kids was there, and we said, "Oh, hey, you know, we're bringing these backpacks, and there's one for you." And we asked his name because we labeled them all with the names and the age so they can find them. And he ripped open the drawstring bag, and he pulled out a box of crayons, and he was looking at everything, and he was like, "Thank you, this is so cool." And he started, you know, he pulled out the coloring book and started coloring immediately. And he was like, "Mom, we're gonna go do this." And he was the cutest little kid, and it was so great to see him so excited about what we were doing. And
because for a minute, I think, you know, they forget about being homeless, that they don't have a home, that they don't have a place, because now they're drawing, coloring, or doing, you know, I mean, I think it's so amazing that you guys do that. So one of the other questions that I had was, for those that are starting, is there a fee that they have to come up with some money to start this program, or you can start, you know, from scratch with nothing? Is there any money that they have to come up with?
I don't know offhand. I know there are certain parameters. If you look on the...
Oh, actually, their moms can look into it, because your mom did that for you, right?
Yeah, my mom is the one that took care of all of that. I sort of know what was going on, but...
So your mom did that for you, you know? No, so, okay. Are there any events upcoming in this year, 2015, that we're doing this? Because we have to be specific to make sure. Do you guys have any fundraising that are coming up so people can know?
We just ended our yearly fundraiser, but we're always having events where we pack the art packs, and we're always looking for volunteers to help us do those.
Or to help out. Okay. So if you want to know more of the events that are happening at Hope for Creativity, you can go to their website or contact Moira Landry, who's the president and founder. She's actually at Swampscott High School. So if you go to Swampscott High School, or you're familiar with the area, she's at Swampscott High School. You can also contact her there, and she can tell you about some upcoming events that they have for their fundraising, or, as she said, putting the packets together for the homeless children. You've been watching the Dr. STEM Show, so thank you for watching, and I hope that you'll be able to go check out my guest's website that she has for Hope for Creativity, and that website again is
hopeforcreativity.org.
hopeforcreativity.org. Thank you for watching the Dr. STEM Show.